Hello everyone, and welcome to Gamifying AI, building prompt-driven interactions. I'm Dr. Tamer Hassan from the College of Engineering at Abu Dhabi University. Today, we'll explore how artificial intelligence can become a creative collaborator in game development, not just generating code, but designing worlds, characters, and emotions. By the end of this session, you'll see how prompts, simple lines of text, can produce art, sound, storylines, and even playable logic. Our workshop has 5 clear goals. First, we'll understand how prompt-driven logic can shape game design. Second, you'll learn to use AI tools like GPT-5, Midjourney, Runway, Udio, Unity Copilot, and Replit. Third, we'll see how you can prototype interactive ideas without deep coding. Fourth, we'll address the importance of ethics and cultural awareness, especially within UAE's innovation ecosystem. And finally, we'll do 2 hands-on activities to practice writing effective prompts for creative generation. Let's start with the big question: why gamify AI? The global AI in gaming market is projected to exceed $7 billion by 2025, growing rapidly as developers integrate intelligent systems into storytelling, level design, and user experience. But beyond numbers, AI allows creators to build adaptive, emotionally aware, and personalized experiences. When we gamify AI, we treat it as a co-creator, not a machine. The prompt becomes our new design language. Think of it like speaking in ideas. The AI listens, interprets, and builds. This is creativity powered by collaboration between human intent and machine generation. Here's where prompt logic really shines: procedural level generation. Traditionally, level design requires manual coding and 3D modeling. But with AI, you can create a level simply through description. Take this example. Generate a desert maze inspired by Emirati architecture with oasis checkpoints and golden lighting. That single prompt defines style, geometry, color, and ambiance. Prompts replace manual coding, allowing for quick iteration. Iterate right pointing arrow, refine right pointing arrow, lock. The key is balance. Too much freedom creates chaos, too many constraints kill creativity. Let's put this into practice. Here's your first activity. Write a 1-sentence level generation prompt. It should include 4 things: the terrain, theme, difficulty, and lighting, mood. For example, design a moonlit canyon obstacle course where players collect energy orbs to power ancient machines. Now, take 3 minutes to craft your own prompt. Think visually. How do you describe space, tone, and challenge? When we're done, a few volunteers can share their prompts, and we'll discuss what makes them effective. Next, let's bring characters to life. Using large language models, LLMs, like GPT-5, you can build branching dialogue trees in seconds. Prompt example: create a dialogue tree for a merchant robot in the Dubai souk who tells jokes while negotiating prices. This can generate full conversation branches, with emotion, humor, and choices that adapt to player tone. To control personality, add emotion or context tags like friendly, witty, or serious, persuasive. It's like directing an actor who never forgets their lines. Dialogue trees are the foundation of narrative games. Each node is a player choice, and each branch is an AI response. You can export this as JSON or XML into Unity or Godot to create dynamic NPCs. Testing for coherence is crucial. Make sure your dialogue loops close logically and remain emotionally consistent. LLMs can adapt responses in real time, turning static stories into living interactions. Now let's move from dialogue to sound. Music creates emotion, and with AI tools like Muber, Udio, or Ava, we can generate adaptive soundtracks from text. Try prompting like this: generate a looping soundtrack for a retro cyber desert race, 120 BPM, mixing oud and synth bass. That combines local culture, oud instruments, with futuristic tones, synth. As the player speeds up, intensity rises, creating an immersive adaptive experience. The lesson: describe genre, tempo, and mood clearly for best results. Visuals define a game's identity. Midjourney and Runway let you generate 2D and motion assets quickly. For instance, isometric pixel art of a futuristic Abu Dhabi market under neon night. Start broad, then iterate and add constraints to improve results. Runway can animate these frames into transitions or cinematic intros. But always respect visual ethics, avoid stereotypes, use culturally accurate motifs, and credit AI tools used. Our second hands-on activity focuses on character design. The goal: Write a prompt that reflects UAE culture and values. Examples: Falcon pilot gliding over dunes. Robotics engineer crafting mechanical pearls. Include appearance, personality, and setting. Emphasize respect, innovation, and authentic representation. Let's take a few minutes to write, and then share some ideas. Now that we have visuals, music, and characters, let's add logic. Prompt GPT to write small snippets of playable code. Example: write Python logic for a game where players gather AI tokens to unlock ethical dialogues. GPT can generate loops, conditionals, and scoring systems instantly. Run it in Replit or Unity Copilot with zero setup. Prompts define goals, rewards, and choices, letting non-programmers bring ideas to life. Let's look at a real example of prompt-driven storytelling. Echoes of Liwa. The premise: interactive narrative in Liwa Oasis where players recite ancient poems to reshape sand dunes. AI stack involves GPT for generating poetic verses, Midjourney for scenic design, Runway for motion and sand effects, Udio for melodies. The result is a reflective cultural game, linking tradition and technology, where poetry drives the gameplay. This project demonstrates how AI can celebrate Emirati identity while advancing innovation. Next, a technical example. Neuro Kart Arena. Prompt: design a hover racing game with AI commentary and adaptive difficulty. AI stack involves GPT, Logic, Midjourney, Vehicles, Unity Copilot, Code, Udio, Soundtrack. This prototype showcased prompt interoperability, one prompt generating art, code, and audio in sync. The game adapts to the player's performance, while AI commentators provide real-time reactions. It's a perfect example of AI-assisted rapid prototyping. When you combine all tools, that's when magic happens. A complete AI pipeline might include GPT-5 or any generative AI tool for story and logic, Midjourney for art concepts, Runway for animation, Udio for music, Unity Copilot for assembly. Each tool communicates via prompts, a shared creative language. Integration allows faster production and creative synergy across media. Ethics must anchor every creative project. Always use licensed or public domain assets. Credit AI tools and human contributors. Reflect culture authentically. Balance gender representation and inclusivity. Avoid any offensive or culturally insensitive material. In our region, design should honor values and innovation through respect. Now that we've seen real examples of how AI and prompting can reshape game creation, let's look toward the next decade, where these concepts evolve from isolated tools into whole ecosystems. When I say future trends, I'm not talking about distant science fiction. Many of these are already emerging quietly inside labs and indie studios across the UAE, Europe, and Asia. First, we're seeing self-learning agents, non-player characters that learn from how we treat them. Imagine an AI merchant in a souk game who remembers how you negotiated yesterday. If you were generous, tomorrow he gives you a better deal. If you were greedy, he becomes cautious. Reinforcement learning and memory embedding now allow LLMs to build persistent personalities. This blurs the line between character and companion. It also raises design questions. When does an AI's adaptation stop being predictable and start feeling autonomous? As designers, we must decide how much control to keep and how much to give away. The second major direction is co-creative gameplay. Players will soon generate assets inside the game, using in-world prompt interfaces. Imagine a sandbox RPG set in the empty quarter where you can speak to an in-game AI architect. Build me a fortress made of coral and glass. Within seconds, the fortress appears, unique to your voice, your mood, your story. This turns every player into a world builder, and every playthrough into a personal art piece. In education and rehabilitation games, this same idea can let students or patients design their own environments, strengthening engagement. Third, voice-based prompting will make interaction more natural. In multilingual regions like the UAE, the ability to prompt in Arabic or English seamlessly is powerful. Fourth, generative testing. Traditional QA teams manually replay games to find bugs or bias. Soon, ICE will auto-simulate millions of playthroughs, checking for unfair difficulty spikes, gender bias in dialogue, or accessibility violations. Think of it as an ethical mirror, AI helping us build more balanced, inclusive experiences. This complements human testers rather than replacing them, freeing humans to focus on nuance and creativity. Finally, all these threads converge into a larger vision: AI as a conversational medium. Games will stop being linear products and become ongoing dialogues between people and machines. Every action a player takes is a line of conversation, every AI response is another. So as designers, our challenge is no longer just coding mechanics, it's designing relationships. Pause and think. What if empathy becomes the main resource we manage in future gameplay? That's where gamified AI is heading, toward emotional intelligence, not just computational intelligence. Let's take a deep breath and reflect on what we've learned in this hour. We've explored a wide landscape, from procedural levels and soundtracks to ethics and storytelling. Now we'll connect the dots. The first key insight is that prompts are design logic. They carry the same precision as mathematical formulas, but in natural language. In the same way an architect uses blueprints, we use prompts to define structure, tone, and intention. Every comma, adjective, and example reshapes the result. So as you continue experimenting, treat prompt design like any other engineering discipline, measurable, iterative, and improvable. The second insight: AI is your collaborator, not your replacement. When used thoughtfully, AI expands imagination. It fills the gap between idea and execution, giving instant prototypes, concept sketches, or logic drafts. But remember, you remain the creative director. Your prompt provides the vision, the AI offers the variation. Human creativity is still the heartbeat of the system. The third point is ethics and culture as anchors of progress. Innovation without cultural grounding can become noise. In the UAE and the broader Arab world, we have a rich heritage of storytelling, poetry, and craftsmanship. By embedding these values in AI projects, we don't just create games, we preserve identity in digital form. When a player from another continent explores your AI-generated world and feels Emirati culture woven into it, you've achieved both innovation and diplomacy. Next, the process itself. Iterate, right pointing arrow, test, right pointing arrow, refine, right pointing arrow, evolve. The most successful AI projects aren't those that worked perfectly the first time, they're the ones tested 200 times and improved after each run. Every mis-generation is feedback. Every error teaches you about clarity, context, and limits. Adopt the mindset of an experimental artist and a disciplined engineer simultaneously. Another conclusion is the power of integration. Each AI tool is a talented musician, but when orchestrated, they create a symphony. GPT provides script and logic, Midjourney paints the scene, Runway animates it, Udio scores it, Unity Copilot makes it playable, and Replit hosts it. Integration converts fragmented creativity into a full production pipeline, efficient, accessible, and scalable. And finally, remember, the future of gamified AI must remain human-centered. Machines can generate endless variation, but only humans define meaning. Ethics, empathy, and cultural respect are what turn technology into art. So as you go back to your universities, studios, or classrooms, carry this mindset. Prompts build worlds, but ethics give them soul. That's our shared responsibility as innovators from this region. Before we conclude, I'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you most today? Was it the procedural generation concept, or perhaps the ethical design side? Raise your hand, share one key insight, or a question you're taking away. Excellent points. Let's connect this to your professional or academic context. If you're an engineer, how might prompt logic streamline testing or visualization? If you're an artist, could AI help expand your palette of styles? And for educators, could gamified AI make learning more experiential? Remember, these ideas are not restricted to gaming. Prompt-driven creativity can enhance healthcare simulations, smart city visualization, or cultural preservation. Many people worry, will AI take away the artist's role? The answer is no, but it will change it. The creative process shifts from producing outputs to curating inputs. Our job becomes defining intent, emotion, and boundary. That's why ethical awareness isn't optional, it's strategic. By maintaining transparency, crediting AI tools, and respecting heritage, we build public trust in AI-assisted creativity. Let's do a short mental reflection. Close your eyes for 10 seconds and imagine a future game inspired by UAE culture, built entirely through prompts. What does it look like? What message does it carry? How do players feel when they experience it? Pause. Now open your eyes. That imagination is the seed of innovation. Your prompts are the bridge between thought and reality. As you continue this journey, explore responsibly. Collaborate with others from different fields. Document your prompts and iterations. Share your learnings with the community. Above all, never let convenience replace curiosity. AI can speed up production, but only curiosity deepens creativity. Thank you all for being such engaged participants today. It's been a privilege to share this exploration of AI, culture, and design. I hope you leave here inspired to treat prompts not as commands, but as conversations between you, your culture, and the machine. If you'd like to continue the discussion or collaborate, feel free to connect with me at tamer.hassan@adu.ac.ae. Together, let's ensure the next generation of AI-powered experiences carries both innovation and identity. Thank you, and I look forward to your creative worlds.